Welcome back, everyone. This will be my brand new Loki Season 2 first look video. Mobius's dream of the jet ski in the 90s is still alive because they just released a new clip of the main Loki at a jet ski store. So I'll explain what's going on. There's a bunch of other big news and footage that dropped from Loki Season 2 as well, so we'll break it down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. I'll be doing episode videos for Season 2 just like I did for Season 1. She-Hulk episodes are also starting this week too. I'll be doing videos for all those episodes as well. We're doing a Disney Plus giveaway for memberships. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and post all your theories about Loki Season 2 on the video. But the new clip that Marvel was filming that just released is literally Loki at a jet ski store referencing this huge joke of Mobius talking about his dream of the jet ski from the 90s. This is the clip. So what's happening in this clip is that Loki has jumped through a TVA portal or been pushed through one in front of a jet ski store called like Piranha Watercraft. It's like a jet ski dealership, basically. The reason why he's moving like this is because he's being attacked by someone through the actual portal. And they'll just add the portal with special effects later in post-production. I can't tell if Mobius is also going to be featured in any part of this scene next to the jet ski tour like Piranha Jet Ski, but I do love how they've turned this whole jet ski meme fantasy to the next level. If you don't remember what the whole meme about the jet ski is about, like why is he so obsessed with jet skis?
In the early 1990s, for a brief, shining moment, there was a beautiful union of form and function, which we call the jet ski.
The greater meaning behind his dream of jet skis were meant to explain what he was doing and where he came from when the TVA basically arrested him and mind-wiped him and turned him into another TVA agent years ago. The TVA exists out of time, so technically when you're inside the TVA, time doesn't pass for you the same way. So as long as they keep mind-wiping you periodically, you'll just forget how long you've been there and think that it's only been a little while. So that's how you can have people there who they've just arrested and people who have been there for hundreds, thousands of years and still think that it's only been a little while. And if you become too much of a problem, like if you remember too many things, mind wiping doesn't work, they'll just send you to that trash planet at the end of time basically, where a lot of Lokis go. If it wasn't clear, they weren't killing people or timelines or anything like that. They were basically sending entire timelines, entire people to this place at the end of time where Alioth would eat them. It just seemed like they were disintegrating things. So when Mobius said that he dreamed of jet skis and Loki found all the jet ski magazines at his desk, those were clues that he was from the 1990s. Like he was obsessed with buying a jet ski, loved jet skis, he hadn't bought one yet, and before he could, while this is still in the 90s, he did something to cause a Nexus event, became a variant of himself, and the TVA arrested him, wiped his mind, and then turned him into another agent. The whole thing during Season 1, and I'm sure this will continue during Season 2, as people start to remember things about their past, because everybody at the TVA is a variant. You saw this towards the end of Season 1, too, like their memories start to creep back on them slowly, which is why Kang would have them mind-wiped periodically. Hunter B-15 went through the same thing. She started remembering things about her past, asking Sylvie about them. Even Ravonna Renslayer started remembering her life working at a school. If that wasn't clear, the main version of Renslayer on the show, also a variant. Like I said, everybody is a variant there. Gugu and Bottom Raw also said that Renslayer would go down a much darker path during Season 2. Renslayer in the comics is mostly known as Kang's love interest for a little while. They worked together, like she helped him for a long time. Then eventually he got tired of ruling over his own Chronopolis, like his city at the end of time basically, and gave it to her and just went off to do other things. So a lot of her storyline during Season 1 was sort of setting the background for that. Like she worked as an administrator at a school, so she kind of became an administrator of the TVA, so to speak, slowly working her way up through the ranks. And the whole idea at the end of Season 1, before Sylvie had killed He Who Remains version of Kang, he sent her secret instructions that she then followed as she was escaping through that portal. The whole idea is that he knew that Loki and Sylvie would either kill him or replace him, and he would eventually, either way, need her help in the new version of the timeline. So a lot of what she's doing at the beginning of Season 2 is the path laid out for her by Kang before he was killed by Sylvie. We also got a bunch more scenes of Loki and Sylvie at that McDonald's in the 1970s. There's a couple different outfits that you see them in. Like you see Sylvie obviously wearing a version of the McDonald's uniform like she's working there, and Loki shows up wearing his TVA uniform like he's also chasing someone down here. This actor here, Rafael Casal, is supposed to be playing a version of Zaniac in multiple episodes, which is a reference to some scenes that we saw in another video that I did. I'll talk about him in a second too. But it's like they come to this McDonald's in the 1970s trying to chase him down, and Sylvie also happens to be working there. One of the funny things about Sylvie you remember from season 1 is that she uses apocalypses to hide from the TVA's detection. So that kind of implies the fact that she's working here at this 1970s McDonald's, that an apocalypse is going to be happening here at some point in the future. R.I.P. McDonald's. You can clearly see he's really happy to see her, like he's kind of surprised that she's there. She's got a brand new haircut. She's also got a version of her leather regular costume from season 1. So it seems like she just swaps back and forth between different costumes and then eventually either goes with him or goes to a different place, escaping again. So it's just meant to be confirmation that she did survive the end of season 1. A lot of people wondered what happened to her. She stole Kang's special TEM pad that he used to manipulate time travel, so that's how she escaped. Just to explain the Zaniac character, he's being played by Rafael Casal here. Like I said, supposed to be a relatively big character throughout season 2, maybe in a couple episodes. Our main Loki from season 1 is with Mobius, and they're in 1970s London attending a movie premiere. And the movie Zaniac is a huge Easter egg because Zaniac is an actual Marvel character from the comics. But in the Marvel universe, Zaniac was kind of like the essence or the spirit of a serial killer who would possess different people's bodies across time using supernatural means. The reason why they're using him on the Loki series is because he appeared for the first time in the Thor comics, and this is Loki, so obviously Thor connection, you get it. But the star of the movie, Brad Wolfe, is another Easter egg because in the Marvel Universe, in the comics, he was just a regular actor who signed on to play a fictional version of the Zaniac character in a movie inside the Marvel comics. But then when he was dressed like the Zaniac character, they started filming the movie doing his scenes. He had an accident and was mutated into the actual Zaniac character, possessed by a spirit. He turned into a killer, tried to kill a bunch of the crew members until Thor stopped him, and they threw him in an insane asylum. So if you remember the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 deleted scenes with the Wonder Man character played by Nathan Fillion, like he played a version of that character in the universe, but he was an actor pretending to be these different characters. So they're kind of doing the same thing. It's the same energy with this Zaniac movie. But basically during Loki Season 2, it seems like they're doing a version of that Zaniac origin story, except when the actor gets turned into the real Zaniac going crazy trying to kill a bunch of people, it's Loki who stops them from killing everyone instead of Thor. And if you zoom and enhance on the movie poster credits here for all the other actors' names, the production crew members' names, the production company is listed as a Goodman Production. That's a huge Easter egg for the origin of the Marvel comic book company itself. Originally, the company was owned by Martin Goodman, who owned Timely Comics. That was the original name of Marvel Comics. He's the one who hired a young Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, all those classic-era Marvel creatives that you know. Then later, the company changed its name a couple times, eventually changing it to Marvel Comics. They've used this type of Easter egg in Marvel Productions before. They used it during Moon Knight, too. When they're revealing the true origin of the Stephen Grant persona, that he was a character in a fictional movie called Tomb Busters, the production company of that movie on the poster was listed as Timely Atlas Productions. That was another Easter egg for Timely Comics. But what happened is it started out as Timely Comics, then in the 1950s they changed their name to Atlas Comics, then after that they changed their name to Marvel Comics. It seems like what happens after they have this big premiere event, like that's in an earlier episode, he turns into the Zaniac character, or he goes crazy like Zaniac does in the comics and becomes possessed, and then goes on the run. And that's where they find him in a following episode at this 1970s McDonald's. The other cool thing you may have seen is that Giancarlo Esposito confirmed that he had actually met with Marvel back during Loki Season 1 because Marvel asked him to play a character, and it was meant to be like a one-off character during Season 1. He said it was meant to be a one-off role, and it was a version of Loki. I think that meant that they wanted him for the version of classic Loki that we saw Richard E. Grant playing. I'm glad that it was Richard E. Grant because he did a fantastic job as that older classic Loki character. Giancarlo Esposito said that he turned them down because he wanted to play a much bigger character at Marvel, which I think is probably a smart move. He specifically referenced Benedict Cumberbatch doing the same thing and coming back as Marvel's Doctor Strange. So originally, if you don't remember, a long time ago, Marvel wanted Benedict Cumberbatch to play a version of Malekith during Thor: The Dark World. That didn't work out at the time, but that was before he kind of blown up in a really big way internationally as a huge star. Then they came back to him after that had happened to play their Doctor Strange, and obviously the rest is history. Malekith was probably one of the weakest Marvel villains just in general that they've done in the MCU, so I think he dodged that bullet metaphorically and literally. But everyone post all your Loki Season 2 theories in the comments. When we get some more footage, I'll do another Loki Season 2 video. It's not going to air till next year, so it's going to be a little while. We might get a teaser trailer by the end of the year or early next year at some point. Marvel is doing a special Disney Plus day next month where they're going to be releasing a bunch of trailers, a bunch of footage, making a bunch of big announcements about what's happening in Marvel Phase 5 with the movies, the Disney Plus series. So whatever trailers they drop, whatever announcements they make, of course they'll do videos for all that stuff. My She-Hulk Episode 1 video will post later this week after they release it. Make sure you enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss that. Everyone click here for that other Loki Season 2 first look video, and click here for my new She-Hulk World War Hulk trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.